Frantz Fanon opined that every generation, out of relative obscurity, must discover its mission and either fulfill the mission or betray it. Every single generation has a particular mission to fulfill, and that generation must discover its mission. Nobody is going to discover the mission for that generation. Nigeria will be used as a case study here in Africa. Every African generation must understand that there is a mission to be fulfilled, and that mission must not be betrayed, because if a particular mission is betrayed in a generation, the resultant effect will affect other generations to come. In the 60s, when Nigeria became independent, Nigeria had the likes of eminent personalities like Jaja Wachukwu out there. Nigeria had Emeka Anyaoku at the Commonwealth. That the importance of foreign policy and national interest cannot be overemphasized here. That is the reason why we've always talked about personalities who have been very good at the diplomatic scene. When you want to solve certain domestic problems, you need to look out there. You need to look at the diplomatic environment. You need to look at your foreign policy, your national interest on the international stage. No country exists in isolation. The likes of Emeka Anyaoku at the Commonwealth really helped Nigeria tremendously. Jaja Wachukwu at the United Nations. Nigeria articulated its foreign policy effectively. The national interest of Nigeria was woven around the independence of African states. Hence, the transformation into the foreign policy of Africa as a centerpiece. Nigeria worked effectively. Later in the time of Amina Mohammed, we had Jaja. Nigeria worked effectively for the independence of Angola, supporting Angola's MPLA against America-backed UNITA government. It was indeed a golden era. Nigeria earned itself that nomenclature as the giant of Africa because we made use of our eminent personalities. We made use of our diplomatic corps. We made use of the best feet we had then. It is not in every generation that you have the likes of Okocha in a team. It is not in every generation that you have the likes of Odegbami in a team. It is not in every generation that you have the likes of Messi, C. Ronaldo, Lewandowski in a team. And it is not in every generation that you have the likes of Ronaldo, Nazario, and Ronaldinho. When you have these personalities in your team, these great footballers in your team, that particular generation must make effective use of those outstanding footballers. Today, Nigeria has outstanding footballers out there, but we are not making use of them. In the last 8 years, we have basically made them citizens of other countries. One way or the other, they are working for the growth and development of others, while Nigeria sits idly without making use of the best brains that we have. Akinwunmi Adesina is at the African Development Bank, the president of the African Development Bank. We have Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala at the World Trade Organization, and we also have Amina Mohammed at the United Nations. Look at the trio. We stand on a powerful trio, yet we have not been able to make effective use of them. It is not in every generation that we can be the president of the African Development Bank or the head of the World Trade Organization or having an undersecretary position at the United Nations Organization. We have to make use of the best brains that we have. We should not continue to make our citizens work effectively for the growth and development of other countries while coming back here to praise. We shower praises on them. Oh, look at Nigerians. We are doing very well in the world. How well have these Nigerians been able to work for the development of Nigeria? They cannot work for the development of Nigeria if Nigeria cannot tap into their intelligence. If Nigeria cannot sit back, have introspection, design its national interest, cook a well-formulated and articulated foreign policy so that we can galvanize the external powers, we can benefit on the international scene. Nigeria is basically lagging behind on the international scene. Every single country has domestic problems. We will continue to emphasize that every single country in the world has domestic problems, but they do not allow their domestic problems to impede their voices on the international stage. They do not allow the domestic problems to prevent them from getting the pest on the diplomatic scene. We have basically become a reactionary country. We just sit back, internalize everything the world wants to give us. We are no longer giving to the world. This was not the Nigeria that started in 1960 down to the 90s. Bolaji Akinyemi comes to mind here. In the days of the Babangida regime, Professor Bolaji Akinyemi formulated Nigeria's foreign policy concretely. We had economic diplomacy then. It was during the time of the Gulf War. Nigeria played significant role in the economic rescue when we pumped the oil out there. Today's discourse is centered on the usage of our best feet. We have great and important personalities out there in the world. Why are we not making use of them? It is when we tap into the brains, into the expertise of these people that we can develop Nigeria. No country can stand in isolation. Nigeria is standing in isolation. That is the reason why our problems look intractable. Problems should not be intractable. As we are focused on the domestic problems, using the domestic brains that we have, we should be able to launch salvos out there. We should be able to talk to the world. We should be able to invite the investment in the world. Our presidents should have been junketing all around the world looking for foreign investors. No, when you have brains, when you have brilliant people, when you have the capabilities out there, when you have people who can do the job while you sit in Aso Rock, why are you moving all around the world? That is what we have turned ourselves into. Our presidents are now the ambassadors. Our presidents are now the foreign ministers. We don't even know if we have foreign ministers. We don't even know if we have ambassadors. Again, no country can survive. No country can grow using that sense. No country in the world can grow using the sense of the president alone. You need to put your best feet out there. We have them. In the last 8 years, we have basically not been able to tap into the resources that we have. Nigerians are out there doing well. They should be able to partner with Nigerians at home. This is very instructive. We can't continue to sound helpless in the world. We can't continue to sound as if we are incapable of doing anything for ourselves when our own citizens are out there doing the best. For this generation, we have our Messi, we have our Ronaldo, and we have our Gigi Okocha. For us to get out of the economic quagmire effectively, we need to tap into the resources that we have. Okonjo-Iweala is still at the World Trade Organization. Amina Mohammed is still at the United Nations. African Development Bank has Akinwunmi Adesina. These are Nigerians. We should not sit idly looking as if we are helpless. For us to grow, for us not to lament, for this generation to discover its mission, our leaders need to tap into the resources that we have. Our leaders should not continue to sound helpless when Nigerians are making other countries of the world great. This is very important and instructive. We will not continue to talk about our problems. We will not continue to talk about our helplessness without finding solutions. No, these are solutions, capable solutions that are around us. There is a particular adage that says what we are looking for in Sokoto is inside our Sokoto. In other words, what we are looking for in Sokoto is right within us, it's next to us. We should just tap into the resources that we have. We should be able to tap into the intelligence of the Nigerians that we have out there. We should not sit idly, sounding helpless every day, while the likes of Akinwunmi Adesina ate the African Development Bank, Okonjo-Iweala ate the World Trade Organization, and Amina Mohammed is at the United Nations. The best feet of Nigerians are out there. We need to tap into the resources, we need to tap into their intelligence, and we need to domesticate that for our progress and development.